Have you ever noticed how confident you feel when you're trading in demo mode? You're calm, you're relaxed, almost like you figured everything out. You take the setup, you let it play out, and then you're thinking, yeah, I got this. But then you go live. And suddenly, your brain acts like you've never seen a chart before. You start second guessing your entries. And when that first trade goes red, it hits differently. You start thinking, wait, why did I even take this trade? What is going on here? And that is exactly what I went through. And it's also why I wanted to talk about the mindset shift that finally helped me go from losing money in gold, which is also known as XAUUSD, to making my first live $1,000 in trading. And don't worry, in this video, we're going to talk about some things that can be applied to any market, because the difference wasn't just a strategy for me. It was the way I was thinking when I used the strategy. And here's the thing, you can study setups all day. You can know exactly how to draw support and resistance lines like the back of your hand. And I know at that time, my charts were on point. But if your mindset doesn't match the live environment, the market will definitely expose that gap instantly. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through the real reason demo success doesn't automatically translate into live results. Also, the mindset shift that helped me bridge that gap. And I'm also going to share with you 5 practical steps that help you go from trading demo to live trading with confidence. And if you're new to trading or just trying to get consistent, then check out the Trading Launchpad. That's where I help new traders understand structure, strategy, and mindset together. And if you're a new trader or already past the beginning stage and you're ready for personalized feedback, then that's where the Profitable Traders Academy will help you. We'll go deep into planning, execution, analysis, and helping you find that confidence you're looking for inside of the markets. You'll find both of those links in the description box below. Now, let's talk about what really changes when you move from demo to live. When I first started trading gold, also known as XAUUSD, I thought I was prepared. I had practiced for months in demo mode, and every week I'd mark up my charts, I'd back test, and I'd run different scenarios, basically picking different dates in the past and trying to trade those markets just to make sure that I was strong in that particular strategy I was using. And in demo mode, after a while, things worked out great. I'd stack profits on the chart and I'd feel unstoppable, especially because it wasn't my money. And then I went live. I funded a small account and I immediately started losing. What's crazy was I had the same strategy, the same setup, the same chart, but different results. And at first, like most people, I blamed the broker, the spreads, the time of day, and whatever else I could think of. But deep down inside, I knew that that wasn't it at all. It was me. My reactions to the live market was very different than demo mode. I didn't have any patience because especially in demo, you can speed up the time. And even the smallest loss felt personal. And when you're in demo mode, all the losses are just data. But when you're live, those losses feel like proof that you're not ready and that you don't know what you're doing. And in some regards, it is kind of right. I had to tell myself that. It's a harsh reality. But also that emotional reaction that I have in demo versus the live market, it changed everything for me. It also makes you exit too early, enter too late, skip valid setups because you're scared to be wrong again and lose even more money potentially inside of the market. So at this point, you're probably wondering what helped me make that shift. And for me, it started with one realization. Demo trading builds knowledge and live trading builds emotional skill. Because if we're being honest, most traders think that demo mode is about getting experience. And yes, it is kind of getting experience. But the real test is when you're in the live market, you're not experiencing those same live emotions that you would get from the up and down motion that you may see in a live market. You aren't experiencing the real thing yet because demo mode doesn't activate your emotional system. It doesn't trigger that part of your brain that panics when real money is on the line. So what I had to learn, and this was a really hard thing for me to learn, was that there is no shortcut to developing emotional control when you're only trading in demo. You can only build that muscle in the live market. And here's how I did it without blowing my account again, because I've blown a number of accounts. I didn't jump from demo to full-size live trading overnight. I started with really small live positions that I really didn't care that much about in terms of losing. I had to feel the pressure, but not too much where it would destroy my confidence. And I'll never forget one of my first live trades on gold, and I risked about $5, just $5. And I was watching that $5 like it was $1,000,000. I was checking the chart every few seconds. I was refreshing the app over and over again because I didn't want to miss anything. And it was crazy because at that time I had tens of thousands of dollars sitting in other accounts. But at that moment, that $5 felt more valuable than all of those accounts combined, which is really, really crazy to say. But that's how it felt in that moment. And that's when it hit me. This is what live trading really feels like. Your brain doesn't care about the size of the money. It only cares that it's your money and that you're right. And until you learn how to stay calm, even when $5 is on the line, you'll never stay calm when it's $500 or maybe even $5,000 one day. That trade taught me something powerful. The goal in the beginning isn't to make money. It's to get comfortable with risk, comfortable with putting on risk in the live market. Because once you can feel the pressure and still follow your plan, you've built an emotional foundation that scales much, much faster later. And for me, that was a mindset shift that changed everything. And it also showed up in 3 big ways. The first one was I stopped trying to win every single trade. Number 2, I started thinking in probabilities instead of trying to predict the markets. Number 3, I redefined what progress looked like for me in trading. It wasn't just about the P&L or the profit and loss. So let's go ahead and unpack these. Let's go to number 1. I stopped trying to win every trade. You have to understand that your brain craves certainty. It wants to be right, and especially as an engineer, I want to be right all the time. And that's why in demo mode, I felt good because there was no real consequence to being wrong. But in live trading, every loss felt like proof that I was failing. So I overcorrected. I changed the rules after one bad trade. Sometimes I would even skip the next valid setup because I was afraid to be wrong again and potentially losing more money. And that was something that I was doing for weeks. Every time gold stopped me out, I would tweak my levels just a little bit. And this really bad habit of moving my stops, or maybe adding some new indicator that I saw online. And at one point, I had about 20 different indicators. I couldn't even see the candles. But basically, I was trying to avoid pain instead of building that consistency just by looking at the candles. And here's what finally clicked for me. Winning traders aren't the ones who avoid losses. They're the ones who expect them, and they also understand how to manage them well. That shift took me from being scared to resilient. And during that time, I was definitely reading Mark Douglas's book, Trading in the Zone, actually listening to it on walks, and that helped me so much. I think I listened to that book about 2 or 3 times. Number 2, I started thinking in probabilities instead of predicting the market. I stopped asking, what will go do? And started asking, if go does this, how will I respond? And that one word, if, calmed everything down for me. Because I was no longer predicting, I was preparing for what the market could potentially do. It's kind of like driving. You don't control the road as much as you would like to. Move all the slow drivers off of the road, but basically you just follow the signs and you adjust your speed and your direction safely. The same with trading. Your setup is the sign and the plan is your steering. When you trade from that headspace, losses stop feeling personal. They just become data again. Number 3, I defined what progress looked like. In the beginning, I thought that progress meant making more money. Of course, that's why we do this. We want to make more money. But after months of frustration, I realized that progress meant making fewer mistakes, because every mistake you remove brings you this much closer to being consistent in trading. I started tracking not just the wins and the losses, but how well I followed my plan. If I hesitated in the market, I'd write down why. If I exited too early, I'd write down which emotion drove it. Was I scared? Was I anxious? Was I tired? Was I just ready to do something else in the day? What was it? Was it also things like fear, or the fear of getting stopped out, or letting a green trade turn red, or unexpected sell-off out of nowhere? We know these can happen, especially on gold. But whatever it was, I wrote these things down. And slowly, patterns started to reveal themselves in my trading. I noticed that I'd closed trades too early the moment I saw $50 profit, $100 profit, even when my plan called for $200 or $250 or more at that time. So I worked on that. Of course, I know that sometimes market conditions change, but they weren't changing in these situations. I didn't do that by adding indicators, but by building patience in the market. And that's how I eventually made my first $1,000 by doing the same thing I practiced in demo, but with a different mindset. Now, I've shared some things with you on my journey. Let's make this super practical for you because I know a lot of traders are stuck right now. You've been practicing for months, but you haven't taken your first live trade yet. So, here are 5 practical steps to help you transition smoothly from demo trading or no trading to live trading. So, step 1, match your demo account to your real life plan. So, what that means is don't practice on a 100K demo account if you're only planning to fund your live account with $1,000. Because at that point, you'll be training the wrong habits. You want to set your demo balance to what you'll actually plan to trade and actually put in a live account. So if it's $500 you plan on putting in your live account, put $500 for demo. Same lot size, same risk, same everything. And that way, when you go live, nothing feels new to you. At this point, you would have already built up muscle memory under realistic conditions because now you're using the same amounts that you used in both demo and live trading. Step number 2. Focus on one market. Demo traders love to chase different markets. I know I did. I was looking at so many different Forex pairs and gold, and I would jump around from things like NAS 100 to GU, which is GBP, USD, to so many other things in the demo market. And consistency needs repetition. So you need to pick one market and learn it deeply. So once I got serious, gold or XAUUSD was the market that I chose, and I studied its behavior in the London session, the New York session, and the Asian session. I also noticed how it reacted to news, how it consolidates, how it trends. And the more you understand it, the easier it is to stay calm, especially when you have crazy spikes on a market like gold or Tesla or something else. So for me, gold became my favorite market because I spent months focusing just on that market. Trust me, it was hard to do. But when you narrow your focus, you trade less, but you understand way more. Step number 3, start live with micro positions. You want to start small enough that your losses don't scare you, but big enough so that way you respect them. So earlier when I was talking about that $5 gold trade, that taught me a lesson. Because even though $5 felt like nothing, it really wasn't. What I was doing at that moment was training my emotional muscle, and that's what I want for you. If you can manage your reactions with $5, scaling to $50 or $500, basically it just becomes math. At this point, most of my positions in gold are around $500 on my larger account or $100 on my smaller account. And then in options trading, sometimes I've risked as much as $10,000 on a trade, which sounds crazy to me right now. But I just want you to know what is possible. The real skill is staying calm when your brain is yelling, don't lose it, because you don't want to lose. So start micro, and if it's XAUUSD, then a 0.01 is something that I started with in terms of lot size. That's going to be a micro lot. And now some brokers even offer a nano lot, which is a 0.0001. And if you're trading futures, I started off with micro lots. They also now have nano lots on some markets. And with options trading, I started off with just one contract. And with stocks, I started off actually with 3 shares in Apple in my long-term investing account. But the point is this, you want to build confidence and scale gradually, not all at once. Step 4, create a live trading routine. Structure gives you stability. So before you ever place a trade, do these 3 things. You want to review your levels and confirm your bias. Then you want to plan 1 to 2 setups that you're willing to take. And then you want to decide in advance when you're done for the session. So for me, that was trading the first 90 minutes of New York stock market opening. And from time to time, it jumps around based on my schedule where I may trade the Asian session. But after I trade, I journal. And not just write down what I saw, but also what I felt. And that's how you can start noticing your emotions in the market. Because once you see them in a spreadsheet or a journal, whatever you choose, you can control them because now you know what they are. So, step number 5 is to focus on process goals, not profit goals. I want you to initially forget about making $100 a week or whatever it is, or hitting an 80% win rate. Instead, I want you to aim for process milestones. So, this is going to look like following your rules for 10 trades straight, also accepting losses without changing your plan, and then ending your session without overtrading. Because when you hit those goals, profits will follow naturally. You have to get the process down before you can see the profits. And discipline compounds much faster than the dollars. When you put all 5 of these things together, realistic demo size, one market, micro lot positions, a simple routine, and process-based goals, something shifts in your trading. You stop feeling like you're practicing trading and you start becoming a trader. Your emotions calm down and your trades start to make sense. And that first $1,000 become a reflection of what patience look like and not just getting lucky in the market. If you found this video helpful and you're serious about improving the way that you think, plan, and execute, then go ahead and start with the Trading Launchpad. That is where I help you build structure and discipline in order to help you go live in trading. And if you're ready for more hands-on mentorship, trade reviews, deeper understanding of the markets, that's all inside the Profitable Traders Academy. The links are below in the description box. And on the screen right now, you're going to see some other helpful videos that'll help you build the confidence and live trading that you're looking for, and also help you think like a professional trader. I'll see you there.